Well, hello, I'm Brad Shanklin. I'm the Executive Director of the Dallas HR Management Association, and I'm pleased to present you with this orientation video that will provide a review of everything you need as a sponsor or exhibitor to access your virtual exhibit booth. What we'll do is start here on this screen with the exhibitor booth confirmation you've received, and you may have received a number of these. All you need to do is keep one and have it handy as you go through the 3 days of the conference so that you can access your dashboard and ultimately your booth at any given moment. You must click on the Edit Registration button in order to access your booth. Please do not use old cached history to access your booth, as it may block you out or it may take you to an old version of your booth. You always want to be able to go to the newest version of your booth by clicking Edit Registration. So what we're going to do here is just click right there on Edit Registration, and it's going to take us to our dashboard. This is the dashboard of the Dallas HR booth that we'll be taking a look at, but yours would look very similar in the layout, but hopefully have all of your information included. Here, you can edit any of the personal details, the exhibit details, your booth staff team, by clicking on one of these three Manage buttons. You can also manage your upgrades and configure your upgrades by clicking on these buttons. You can also see a summary of all of your purchases and who is in your booth, as well as the total that you paid. Scrolling back up to the top, two important buttons. The Configure Upgrades is where you will go to upload documents or videos, add additional information to your booth. And you can see here that there are a few things here incomplete, yet to be uploaded. But there's still time to do that. Not to worry, you can upload all the way up until we launch, but I encourage you to upload before you go to sleep on Sunday night. Here on the Preview Exhibit page, this is how you get to your actual booth. This is a live representation of what your booth will look like. And again, not to worry, they are not live until Monday morning. If I click on Preview Exhibit page, it's going to take me to the actual Dallas HR virtual booth. Here you can see everything that is populated from the dashboard, the link outs, the logo, the company description, the contact information, the team members. And yes, you can add headshots of your team members for your booth. If you have any trouble with populating those headshots or anything, please reach out to us and I will give you the email address in just a minute. You can add your extra promotional videos here at the bottom, as well as your resources, which are the static PDF downloadable white papers or brochures. And then, of course, all your social media links are included here at the bottom. Every time you add anything, be sure to click all the way through until it's saved at the end and then log out, and then go back and click on Edit Registration to access the newest information, as I mentioned. Here in the meeting rooms, if you've opted into a meeting, purchased a meeting room, or were given one as part of your sponsorship, we're now going to talk about the actual meeting rooms themselves. These buttons here can be customized to say whatever you like. Here we have a break room and we have a conference room. In these two rooms, the break room holds up to 50 people in this instance. This is also known as one of the group meeting rooms, where you could have 50 people at one time. Group rooms, or this break room in this example, are best used if you have a presentation to provide live to the attendees. If you want a more intimate, smaller room, the private meeting rooms, or in this case, renamed conference room, are for up to 4 total people, including you as one of the booth staff members. This is where you can have the more one-on-one kinds of conversations throughout the 3-day conference. So don't forget, you can customize these buttons if you wish. So now I'm going to click on the conference room button, And this is how I, as an exhibitor, will actually access the booth anytime I want to come into the booth. There is no extra special login for me to do that. Now you can see me. Here I am in the booth. This is what it will actually look like. And I have a colleague who's going to join me in just a minute to show how an attendee will knock on the door to come in. So now you see, we'll talk about these buttons here at the bottom, but Virginia Hall has requested to join. And this is how we will see an attendee come join our room. The important message here is that you need to have someone in your room during the activity breaks as well as the lunch breaks throughout the 3 days. There are times when an attendee may not go to an education session and might be surfing through the marketplace. So it's up to you whether or not you have someone in the room at all times, but especially during those primary times of the activity breaks as well as the lunch breaks. So we're going to let Virginia join us in the room, and I'll show you how that works. So Virginia comes into the room, takes a second to load, and there she is, Virginia Hall and the team of Dallas HR. So Virginia has joined the room. And again, there's still room for 2 additional people to join in. So if Virginia and I were having a conversation here, she would, and a third or fourth person knocked, that same window would pop up and I could let them in to join in on the conversation. If the room is full with 4 people, they will not be able to come into the room, but we will have access to their information after the fact to get back to, so you'll have that after the fact. So at the bottom, you have some of the standard buttons for my camera, turning it on and off, my microphone, turning it on and off. And in this instance, just as an example, I have a camera on my Surface Pro and an external camera. So be sure you've selected the right camera for your view, as well as the right microphone for your view. If I want to chat with folks, I can click on this group button here on the far right. I can see who's in the room and whether their camera and microphone are on or off. In this example, you can see that Virginia's microphone is currently off. I can go to the chat box, and here I can send any kind of messages. Virginia just said hello to us, and you can see how that pops up right there. I can say hello back to Virginia, and we can have whatever kind of conversation. Time-stamped, and the sender's name is included with every chat message. Back to the people, when I'm in the room, I can click on here to set the display name. If you are signing in your booth as Jane Doe, but you're not Jane, when you get to this room, you can change your name just by typing in your name in this box and saving it. I actually had to do that because Tim Gunn is our primary contact for our booth, and his name was appearing here. So I know that many exhibitors who have private rooms are having multiple staff those rooms throughout the 3 days. So be sure to change your name so your attendees know who they're talking to. Here I can also, I can turn on all the mics or all the cameras or turn them all off if I needed to. So if you were, especially in the group meeting room, if you were having a presentation and want to turn everyone's mic off but your own, and then turn them back on afterwards for question and answers, you can do that right here. So you can see the chat and you can see the people, and you can search back and forth through that. Another thing I want to show you outside of the rooms for a moment is the marketplace. Here's where all of the exhibitors will be listed in the exhibitor directory. It's alphabetical. There are sponsors at the top here. You can see sponsored booths, and folks who paid for a primary listing are listed here above the A's. Then you can see it goes alphabetically below that. Important to note, if you are logged in as yourself, as your company, you will not be able to see the tile for your exhibitor booth, but rest assured it's there. And if you have any troubles with that, let me give you for the first time the email exhibitors@hrsouthwest.com. Send us an email. The team is standing by all day throughout the conference to help answer your questions and get things back on track if needed. Here you can also scroll through. You can see the SHRM store, which I won't go into. You can see the attendees. This is another directory of all the attendees. And you can see them listed alphabetically. I can look for the people whose first names start with P. This is first name order. And it pulls me into that group, or H, etc. But if I go back to the marketplace, more importantly, if I want to scroll through the marketplace and say, you know what, I want to learn more about what's happening at CEC Vision, I click on their booth, tile in this case, and it takes me to their virtual booth with everything just like it is in your booth and like in the example that we're using today with Dallas HR. So here we are back to the directory. Again, I can search by alpha. I can search by any of these categories that you have selected as part of yours. So if I'm interested in finding out more about Total Rewards Insurance, I can click on that and search. And I get the groups of companies whose tags are Total Rewards Insurance, Health, Life, Dental, Vision, and so on. You can click on any of them. So as an attendee, I would be clicking on these to find specific booths that I'm interested in learning more about. So if I go back home, it will take me to my dashboard. Again, the dashboard is how you enter the booth each time. So I click on preview exhibit page again. I'll go back into the conference room, and Virginia should be there patiently waiting as we left her. Well, no, she's not. I'm not sure if she logged out or not, but you wouldn't jump from the meeting room, obviously, up to the tabs. I just wanted to show you what the tabs look like. And there she is again, knocking. We're going to let her back in. There we go. Thank you. Did you actually give me a thumbs up if you logged off the room? Okay, so she logged off the room. Otherwise, she would have been there when we came back. But again, I wouldn't have left the room like that to go to the tabs. That was just for display purposes only. So here you can click on the dots and ask her to turn her mic on, turn her cam off, etc. Or I could remove her. In the odd event that you had somebody that might have been kind of taking over your private room, you can remove them. I'm going to click on this and see that Virginia goes away and she can hear my voice, and she will log back in one more time just to show you how that works. You can also maximize your screen, full screen, etc. Again, edit your display name as needed. There she is. Let her in. So pretty straightforward, a lot like a lot of other platforms, Zoom, GoToMeeting, etc. So use your intuition that you would use on a Zoom call, and you'll be able to navigate just fine. And again, if you have any questions along the way, email us at exhibitors@dallashr.org, and we'll be happy to get right back to you. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Exhibitors@hrsouthwest.com, and we will get right back to you to give you assistance. And let me just say thank you one more time for being a sponsor or exhibitor for this new virtual HR Southwest conference experience. We hope you enjoy it.